Hopefully you can hear me from my outdoor office here, but I want to talk about something along the lines of why quitting your job can feel scary as hell, even when you're ready or you feel like you're ready. So like you finally pull the plug, you're leaving the 9 to 5 grind. So no more late night Slack pings at 9 o'clock while you're sitting on the couch. No more meetings that could have been emails. No more tracking your damn bathroom breaks. You're officially out, right? But all of a sudden it's this weird feeling and you're wondering, why the hell do I still feel stuck? So here's what's actually happening. Spoiler alert, that is totally normal and science agrees. Your brain hates change. Full stop. It's not a glitch. It's just biology. There's this sneaky little thing that it's called the status quo bias. Basically, your brain prefers the devil it knows, even if it sucks, because uncertainty feels way scarier. But when you make a bold move like quitting, your brain doesn't celebrate. Instead, it just panics, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, did I just screw up? Maybe that crap job wasn't so terrible after all. Better the job you hate than the unknown, right? You start making all kinds of excuses. That fear isn't weakness. It's called loss aversion. And this just means that losing something feels twice as intense as gaining something new. And that's part of something called behavioral economics. So even when quitting was the right call, it still feels like you're losing. So you're not crazy. You're just human. Your brain's trying to keep you safe by nudging you back towards what it knows, aka that comfort zone, right? Feeling anxious doesn't mean you messed up. It means you're growing. And growth is uncomfortable as hell. The trick isn't to erase fear. It's more about expecting it, recognizing it, and moving forward anyway or in spite of it. And courage isn't fearlessness by any stretch. It's just taking action while fear rides shotgun. That makes sense. So when your job was your identity, now what? Right? Just when you started settling into the idea of freedom, another weird feeling creeps in, like something's missing, like you're not quite yourself anymore. And here's why. Your job wasn't just your job. It was your entire identity. You weren't just working as a project manager or an IT specialist or the go-to problem solver. You actually became that title. You weren't just filling a role. You were the role. Psychologists call this a role engulfment. It's when your job consumes your identity. So when you step away, you don't just lose a paycheck. It feels like you lose your identity. You lose the easy to explain version of yourself. Yeah, it totally messes with your head. But the truth is your job was never your identity. It was just a chapter in your story, kind of like a bucket or container for all your strengths, your skills, and your creativity. And the thing is that containers change, right? You're not the title. You're not the company. You're the resilience, the creativity, the grit that made you successful in the first place. Those things didn't just disappear because you left your desk behind. This isn't starting from scratch. It's starting from experience. So think of it as an upgrade, like an identity upgrade. You're defining yourself now not by what someone paid you to do or told you how to be, but by what you choose to build next. And you're not lazy. You're burnt out from years of hustle. You quit the job. You're redefining who you are. You've taken this huge, supposedly exciting leap into something new, then all of a sudden you can't even peel yourself off the couch. You got time freedom and you feel like you should be crushing it, but then doing something as easy as making a to-do list sends you into nap mode. And then you start wondering, am I just lazy? No, you're burnt out, and there's a big ass difference. Burnout isn't just feeling tired. It's full-on emotional, physical, and mental depletion. It's when even rest doesn't feel restful. You've been in bed 12 hours and you feel like you still haven't gotten more than like 40 minutes of actual rest, right? So psychologists break down burnout into 3 clear signs, right? There's emotional exhaustion, cynicism or feeling detached, and reduced sense of accomplishment. Sound familiar? You're not alone. This is just what years of hustle culture does to people, and it's not healthy. When your identity has been productivity, metrics, and endless deadlines, your nervous system eventually crashes. That's your body forcing you to stop whether you planned it or not. And it's confusing, right? Because on paper, you're finally free. No boss, no commute, no corporate grind, nobody telling you when to take a lunch break. But the kicker is that you've been trained to see rest as something earned, not something essential. So now that you have that time to rest, you feel guilty, you feel unproductive, and you feel like you're wasting precious time. All that time you work so hard to make more of for yourself, right? And here's a reality check. Rest isn't a reward. It's an absolute requirement. It's not slack. It's recover. Give yourself permission to just chill out for a minute. Your body and mind need healing, not another hustle. Burnout's real, but it's not forever. The kinder you are to yourself now, the faster your energy will return. Leaving corporate isn't just a career move. It's a total mind game. Okay, so the burnout fog's starting to kind of lift now, right? You might think you've done the hardest part already. Wrong. Leaving your job isn't just swapping one paycheck for another. It's a complete mindset shift. People scoff when I say this stuff and call mindset fluffy, but it's real. You're stepping away from an entire system of thinking, a system that rewarded obedience, perfectionism, chasing those Scooby snacks like a trained puppy. For years, maybe even decades, you've followed a clear playbook, right? Show up, say yes, and stay in your lane. Do exactly as expected. And in return, you get a steady paycheck, maybe a 401k match, your paid time off approved. But entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, or doing things on your own doesn't come with a handbook or a manual. No one's giving you performance reviews or instant validation saying things like, good job, congratulations, keep going. At first, freedom feels like chaos because your brain's still craving structure and approval and external validation from those bosses and that corporate structure. You're still waiting for someone to tell you you're doing it right. But that boss is gone now. That was just you. You set the goals, you create the roadmap, you make the calls. And honestly, that's scary as hell. You have to get okay with taking risks, making mistakes is a big one, and stepping forward without knowing exactly how it'll turn out. This is why so many people retreat back to the familiar, that comfortable rut. Not because they're incapable, but because nobody taught them how to think for themselves in this kind of way. That's not your fault. That's the system failing you. You were trained to fit right into someone else's plan, not create your own. But here's the thing. Once you break past all that discomfort, that's when the magic really starts. Now you're not just reacting to somebody else's agenda or schedule anymore. You're designing your own life. Yeah, it's messy and totally foggy and uncertain, but it's also when you start feeling truly alive again. You can trust me on this one. Freedom feels weird at first, and that's totally normal. Now you're officially out, right? No more 9 to 5. You had some time to breathe, reset, maybe even enjoy yourself, dare say it. You should feel awesome, right? But instead, you wake up feeling kind of lost. You get all this freedom, no boss breathing down your neck, no meetings to dread, no crappy -40 drives to work, no scheduled bathroom breaks. But then you're thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do now? It's almost like you imagine freedom like winning the lottery, but right now it just feels awkward as hell. You're not broken. You just spent years with your days completely planned out by somebody else. Work told you when to wake up, when to eat lunch, when to shut up or speak up. Your brain is looking around confused asking, okay, so who's in charge now? Spoiler alert, it's you. And that's absolutely wild because nobody taught you how to handle that. It's like stepping off a treadmill, but your legs still feeling wobbly, or stepping off one of these boats, feeling like you're still supposed to be running or keeping yourself kind of, vertical, right? Psychologists call this learned structure, but skipping all the jargon and lingo, your brains are used to someone else's schedule, and now it has no clue how to make its own. At first, the freedom will feel messy, unstructured, to make you feel like you're failing even if you're not. You might catch yourself thinking like, I'm slacking, or why can't I get myself together? And sometimes even like, am I cut out for this? But the truth is that freedom is a skill. You're still learning. You don't need some complicated productivity hack. Just start simple. Pick a couple of things to do each day. I'm always telling people to write stuff down. Give your brain just enough structure that you feel you need. Go forward without going full corporate robot, of course. And seriously, make space for rest without guilt. You just escaped burnout. The last thing you need is to recreate that, right? Or revisit that again. You're not lazy, you're just adjusting. You're building new habits from the ground up, and that takes a minute. If this phase feels uncomfortable, good. It means that you're doing it right. This isn't failure, this is growth. Not lost. You're figuring out what freedom looks like to you. Let me know what you think and see you in the next one.